Alright guys, welcome back to our Megaman-X platformer Let's Code that we are doing together. In the previous episode we got our little lemon shooter working for all of our animations, running, jumping, idling, and of course our wall jump as well. But of course now we need to go ahead and get our other projectiles in, so like our medium charge shot and our fully charged shot. So in the previous episode, I also went ahead and imported all of our X-Buster sprites. You can just get these from like spritesync.co.uk and just go from there. But the first thing I'm going to do is to find some new objects down here for like effects. So I'm going to create an effect, call this F charge circle, and then it's going to have a depth of 60. And then I don't think. Oh yes, we need a step event here. I'm going to be creating a local variable called obj, which is just going to be our player controller here. And then we're just going to say if instance exists obj, and then if this condition is true, we're gonna always update. We're gonna make it so these effects stick to the player. So we're just gonna say x is equal to obj.x, and then y is equal to obj.y. We may need to adjust this y coordinate to be maybe a couple pixels down, but I'm just going to go ahead and just start with that, and then go from there. Oh, we also need to apply a sprite, of course. X-Buster, and then this is the F charge signal, so we need this one. Okay, and then we need to also create another object called this F charge charge balls, because literally what else does it look like? It's just they look like circles. Charts, and it's, I can't name a charge circle because that's, I don't know. Anyway, so I'm gonna go ahead and do that, and then set the sprite index to be that. Set the depth also to -60, and just so we don't have to keep repeating the same exact code, I'm just gonna create a parent here to the charge circle effect. And that's all our effects ready to go. Another thing, I'm going to create more objects. I'm going to create is I'm going to go ahead and create the obj x mid charge, or mid charge. I'm just going to call it that. Depth of -60. Let's take a look, or -57 could work too, but it's gonna be okay. I'm gonna do this similarly as I did with the X-Buster. I'm gonna set this to a little flash, and then it's gonna update to the actual projectile and start moving. So literally what we can do is just copy this in here, paste that event in, and do the same thing here. Copy this in here, paste this into here. We're gonna update speed to be 7. So it moves a little bit faster. We need to change this to SPR underscore XMC plasma, and then set this to SPR underscore X mid charge. Boom. And then to our create variable here, our push effect will also be cold plasma. Don't need to worry about that. Well, actually, what we need to do though is create another parent, but also we need to create another controller here called this CTRL underscore weapon underscore medium, and then parent this to the master controller. Is there anything in here? Okay, no, cool. And then we can parent this to our medium controller. Why don't I just parent this to the master? Because what if we want to have like classes of damage to to enemies? Like say if we hit him with the our X-Buster and it does 1 hit point of damage, we don't want the mid charge to do 1 hit point of damage. It just doesn't make any sense. It just also saves us from having to define a whole bunch of collisions with other collisions with other things without having to repeatedly write all the code and stuff. Alright, and then of course I should do the same thing with our large weapon, so I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this and then call this CTRL underscore weapon underscore large. So it already has the parent of the master weapon. And then I'm going to create a new object in the XBuster category called this obj underscore NX charge shot. The reason I say NX because there's different charge shot projectiles based on different armors, like the Falcon armor and the Force armor and the Ultimate armor, for example. They all have different charge shot projectiles. Let's see here. I'm going to apply the charge flash. And then similarly with the XBuster, of course, we need to copy the event, paste it in, copy this event, paste it in. Instead we're going to set our projectile speed to 10, change this to SPR underscore X charge flash, and set this to that SPR underscore X charge shot, which is our charge shot sprite up here, as I've probably shown earlier, right here. This thing right here. And that's it. One more thing we do need to do is set a new call to charged plasma. I'll go ahead and make that object also really quick. Let's see, stage effects. I'm going to go ahead and just duplicate this and call this COL underscore charged plasma, and then just change the sprite index to the other effect that I had here. Where is it? Do I not have it? Charge shot collision. There we go. That's what it is. And that's all. And all these are set up, ready to get and good to go. And speaking of mentioning different charge shot projectiles, what we're going to do is just create a variable here in the player type. Call this weapon buffs, because we will have like other variables later, like can we do a special charge, can we charge special weapons and stuff. So charge projectile is equal to obj underscore NX charge shot. Boom. This is something we'll need to define in each of our player types. I'm going to call it good. Alright, so now let's go ahead and start making charge shots here. Now we got all those out of the way. So we're going to have a key, or oh wait, we already have this. We already have those. I'm going to go ahead and make a dummy alarm here as well. Make a comment, say dummy alarm. This is to add a little bit of effect, so we're not like I don't know how to explain it, but like when you're holding down or you will want to wait to charge up after like shooting your projectiles. There we go. So I'm just gonna say here alarm 0 is equal to 10. Just do that, and then let's just go ahead and begin. So, if we are not alarm 0, which basically if this alarm is not active, if we say key charge and open some braces, and then we're also going to say else, and this is for when we release release something. I'm also going to say really quick with F charge circle instance destroy, so we can get rid of these right after, or like afterwards, and with F charge balls instance destroy. Boom. Oh, and also say charge is equal to 0. Make sure charge is already, okay, cool. Charge is already defined. And now let's really get started. So, alright. So for charging, we're going to say charge plus plus. And if charge, okay. If charge is greater than, let's say, 20, and this instance does not exist, F charge circle, we're going to say new effect XY F charge come on, charge circle. There we go. And then from there, also if charge is greater than, say, 70 or 75, and instance does not exist, F charge new effect XY F charge. Alright, so basically here what I'm saying is if our chart, when we're holding down the charge key, we're going to increment our charge counter, and if that counter is greater than 20 and the instance, this effect instance does not exist in our current room, we'll create that so we can visually see that our charge is greater than 20. Similarly, for when the charge is greater than 75, this effect will now appear if it doesn't exist already, and then we'll just go from there. Another thing I'm going to do is just say alarm 0 is equal to say 20. Start there. I'm going to say flash timer is equal to 8. Shoot timer is equal to 20 as well. Oh wait, no, not here. That will be for like in our ranges, which I'm about to type here. Okay. So now let's fire our projectiles if it's either A greater than 20 and less than 75, or B greater than 75. So if charge is greater than 20 and charge is less than 75, make a comment here saying fire a mid charge shot. I don't even know what the actual projectile is called, but that's just what I see it as. I'm going to make another local variable here, B is equal to obj underscore x mid charge. It's just to kind of make things. It's what I did up here, right here, just so I know how to keep repetitively typing obj x buster, obj x buster, obj x bar. I can say b b b b b. So that just seems to work. And since it's basically the same thing, what we can do is just copy all this and then paste this into here. And it looks like I need to indent things, so I'm going to select all this and hit tab twice, and that should do it. And just to make sure, so if our charge is greater than 20 but less than 75, we will fire our projectile, since B is already defined to be our medium charge shot here. One thing I will do here at the top is just say shoot timer is equal to what did I say up here? Did I say 20? Okay, 20, and then flash timer is equal to 4. And then similarly, we can say else if charge is greater than 75. So we're just continuously charging, and it's greater than 75. We'll fire a big shot. Fire a charged shot, or fire a fully charged shot. Okay, that makes sense. Mid would be, we could say semi instead of mid, or yeah. And then we can just take this whole thing here and then paste it in. Instead of changing our local variable b to be equal to objx, or oh wait, our charge projectile, which we defined in our player type. And then we'll set the flash timer to be 8, since that was a number that I worked with earlier but that didn't work, but actually is more fitting for these charge shots. And then all the coordinates are in, so we really didn't need to change anything since we've already figured them out, derived them when we were shooting our little lemons. And of course, at the end of our statement, we are destroying all the effects. We're resetting our charge, and we're having a little delay to charge again of 20. That's what this alarm is doing. It's just giving us a delay before we can start charging. Alright, so now if I close this out and I go ahead and run the game, we should see that we can, we'll see the effects, and then we can shoot semi-charged and fully charged shots. Alright, so we have a malformed if statement, and I think I know exactly why. Because we put a statement terminator here. So just give rid of that semicolon, hit OK, and then let's try that again. OK. No problems. Still no problems. And I'm going to start charging up now. OK. Alright, that's mostly working, except our effects are in the wrong place. And it seems we have the wrong index here, but we can quickly change that. We could just say instead animate player. We could just say for this special case, we could just set the sprite index to be our blast sprite, just to make it work more efficiently here. Wait a second, not there. Here is equal to blast sprite, which is just when he's raising up his cannon, like shooting in a real charge shot like he would in the actual games itself. But for some weird reason, it's not colliding with the floor and destroying itself when it hits it. Not sure why, because all these are parented, unless if I forgot to parent this to the large. Okay, no, I didn't. And we've also forgot to set a depth. Silly me. Alright, so we're going to quickly set that parent really quick to our large weapons. Our control weapon large. And then set the depth also to be -60. And then come back here. Let's move our Y coordinate down to maybe +16. I think that's what would work. As you saw it in the air. That's a bit better. Oh, and that seems to be also another problem here. It seems to be colliding there. What if I jump and shoot it? There we go. Yeah, so it works just like with your other animations here. Oh, and that's facing the wrong direction. Yeah, that's facing. It's going the right way, but the image and the image X scale is facing the wrong way. That's something I did not notice there. All right, I'm also going to move this down maybe just by a couple pixels, and then maybe scoot this over to 2 times image X scale here, and then call that good. Let's look into that. Why is it doing that? It's probably due to our firebuster here. Aha, that's why. I forgot to say pro.image x scale is equal to image.x scale. Boom. That should do it. There we go. That's facing the right way now. Yep. So it moves too fast. I can't even see it. But there we go. That's what we want. The reason it's hitting the floor is because the collision mask is the same as the sprite, and I think I made a collision mask already for. Okay. Yeah, I already made a collision mask, so I gotta import it really quick from one of my other projects here. Let's see. There we go. It's this one, little simple mask here to replicate it, and then we'll just apply that to our projectile here, and then try running the game again, see what happens. Also, I couldn't tell, was he blasting it yet? Probably was. No, he wasn't. But the projectile works better to the least. Okay. So why is he still? It should be this sprite, but instead it's the shoot sprite, which I'm not sure. Not sure why that's the case. So first of all, I'm going to set that back to animate player We're use our animate player script here, and then say if alarm 0. So if the alarm is running, then we'll set our sprite index. And then do an else if statement here. And that should work. Oh. Okay. Okay, I've managed to figure it out here. So when we hold down our charge key and let go, he blasts it and it animates fully. Because if you saw in the previous clip, it was kind of a little choppy. It cut off instantly back to idle here. And basically all I did was just create our timer variable to equal to the amount of frames inside our blast sprite here. As you can see, there's 47 images. That means the timer needs to be 40 frames before setting itself to 0. It's treated just like as a shoot timer, flash timer. If it's greater than 0, we'll decrement. Otherwise, it'll just be equal to 0. And then to make it animate properly, what I did is just up here at the top, that said if charge timer is greater than 0, sprite index will be our blast sprite. If not, if our shoot timer is greater than 0, then we'll have it shoot sprite. Otherwise, it'll be our idle sprite. That does it. But other than that, I think that rounds up this part of our coding series. I think the next episode we will tackle our diagonal aiming systems. I've been Nighthawk, and I will see you guys later.